Hi, and welcome to Engaging Students with Baamboozle. I'm Becky Reniger. I'm a gifted intervention specialist and coordinator for Milton Union Local Schools in West Milton, Ohio. And this is my 18th year in gifted education. I love gifted education, but I also love technology. And I love finding ways of leveraging technology to help all students learn and grow and become more engaged in their educational experience. So one of the great things about Baamboozle is it's a very engaging website that gets your students involved and participating and doing so through games and playing. The nice thing about Baamboozle is it does not require that your students have computers. This is one that you can host as a teacher on your smartboard or on your projector, or you could also host it if you're doing virtual learning online so that your students can access, and you can use this through like a Zoom call or a Google Meet or any of those. So let's go ahead and get started. Baamboozle is a site that is free, and there's also a paid version. The paid version is not terribly expensive, so I actually have the paid version on this one. It is endorsed by the American Association of School Librarians. The nice thing is there's really very little preparation needed. The game questions randomized, so no two games are exactly the same. That can be used for like an assessment piece that you can kind of understand where your students are, what key concepts are being missed. And it's a lot of fun. And part of what makes it fun is there are different power-ups within the game. So it's kind of like a Jeopardy format. And let me go ahead and I'll sign in and show you. Well, first I'll show you the pricing. So if you're interested in the basic, this is what you get. You can create your own games. You can access other people's games. And you can do some small uploads and folders. So definitely totally usable as a basic. If you go with the plus version, you have all of the basic features, and then you get to edit any of their games to save time on prep. You can change the text. You can unlock different game options and do multiple choice questions. You could have private and unlisted games, no ads, and then there's customer support. So I'm using the $7.99 a month to get through the end of the year. And it's a lot of fun. So it was actually made by a teacher. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And we'll take a look. So this is my landing page here, and you can see I've got a couple games up. I haven't saved or created a whole lot. Mostly I've been using this for demonstrations, but I do use a lot of the games that other people have created. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can go searching for different games. So if you click here on games, you'll see that there are so many different games that other people have created and shared that you have access to, from primary grades and phonics up through all kinds of different topics and areas. So I'm going to do a search for a topic right now with my middle school students who are learning a little bit of American Sign Language. I can do a search for ASL and see all of these great quizzes that come up, or games that will come up. And one of the ones that we did recently was colors in ASL. There's also the alphabet that we've worked on. So let me take a look here. I've favorited this one, but there are others that you can do. So when you phrase them, you can find when you favorite them, you can find them a little bit more quickly. You see, this is actually connected to the joy of signing. But let me go ahead and pull this one up. All right, so on this one, you don't have the signs. You just have the students sign the letter for you, and then you would indicate whether it was correct or incorrect on the game. So if I hit play, I can choose different options about the game. I can set the number of teams with the number of questions that we play. There are different options that you can use with the game, including giving partial credit or hiding the score. There's game over gifts that you can have at the end, or you could set a timer. You can make it so that students lose points for wrong answers, or you could reset the score if they get them incorrect. Power-ups, these are so much fun. Go to first place, go to last place, double your points, reset your score. Just all kinds of, this is what makes the game interesting and keeps the kids going. You can also use themes if you want the students to, rather than using numbers to tell what question they want, they have to do some describing. It's good for getting them to use descriptive language. There's also, if you're doing speech language pathology and you're trying to get them to articulate certain sounds, that's a good way to get them to practice articulating sounds or using different vocabulary words. So different ways that you can kind of vary the game and actually accomplish a couple different goals at the same time. Down here at the bottom, you can do it as a quiz with like questions only. You could do the classic with the power up the questions, and then these are more easy power ups for the little guys. So I'll just show you what this looks like as a classic. You see it's got a basic Jeopardy board type feel. You can edit your team names. So like my students like to be the cool kids and the cooler kids. Okay, and you can adjust scores as well. So if you have teams that are not behaving as they should, and you need to deduct some points from their scores, you have the ability to do that. Or if you want to award bonus points, you can do it through there as well. All right, so when the team is up, the cool kids can say, Mrs. Reniger, let's do number 6, and then I can click on number 6 for them, or they could do it on the smartboard. And so for this particular one, they would have to sign the letter U. I would watch them do it, and if they were correct, then I have the ability to say, okay, you got it right, or oops, you didn't get it right. So if I click okay, you see they get their points, and it moves over to the cooler kids. They choose, and oh, there's a power up. They take 15 points, and you see they just stole it from the cool kids. So it's those kind of things that happen within the game that get the kids engaged and keep them engaged. Some other things that you can do with this, you can turn the sound on and off, which might be a good idea depending on the game that you're playing. So you can also utilize this in different ways. I'm going to pull a different game real quick for you so that you can see. All right, so we got trivia about electricity. Let's take a look at that. All right, so again, you've got a variety of abilities that can be covered by Baamboozle and the ones that are already created. So let's say we're going to use this one, but I want them to study it instead of play it as a game. So as a class, we can use this to study. There's different cards that we can look at. They can see all the questions at once. They can look and see what is a fuse. Did they get it right? Yes. Did I miss it? Oops. And then they can practice, and you get statistics. You can see how many are right, how many are wrong, and percentage. Another way that you can use this is as a slideshow. And then this just is the questions in a slideshow format. Now the answers aren't here. So it is a good way of putting guiding questions on there and engaging the students in discussion. So I'm going to, and you have the option to do full screen. You can hide the text if you wanted to do that, or you could hide the image if you needed to do that, depending on the one that you're looking at. Okay, so that's the slideshow mode, the study mode, and then of course the play mode. If you liked one of these and you had the premium membership and you wanted to adapt it in a way or two, maybe pull out a couple questions, add in a few of your own, you can always copy and edit. If there's anything on there that's inappropriate, you can report that. You can share games with other teachers or with your students, and then you can save it to your files or make a copy. If you like the author of the game, you can click to follow them to see what other things they have, and you can see what other games that user has. So if you found another teacher that's teaching the same thing that you are, you might want to take a look and see what other things they've produced. All right, so I'm going to come back here to my library and show you a couple different things that you can also do. Now, this is one that I just have been playing around with. It gives you a good idea of how the game works in terms of design. And then this one, you can import games from Kahoot or from Quizlet as well. So I know Kahoot can get old sometimes, and it's kind of nice, but they've got a lot of content, and you're not just limited to the content on Kahoot as a Kahoot. So what you can do is you can click, well, first let me show you the one that's been imported, and then I'll show you how to do it. So this is one that's been imported, and you see there's the questions, the multiple choice answers that would have been on the Kahoot itself. And I'll pull it up over here in Kahoot so that you can see what that looked like here. Okay. So this screen, when you go in on Kahoot and you find a quiz that you like and you get to this create.kahoot, this is the link that you're going to want to import from. We're going to start back over here, and I'll go to my games, and I'm going to import a game. So I'm going to go to new game, and then I'll just switch over here to import, click on my Kahoot, and choose the one I would like. Maybe I want to learn about our solar system. Okay, this looks good. Make sure you always preview your questions. Sometimes you have Kahoots or things that are created by not teachers. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. So what you would do is you would come up here, find that link, highlight it in your address bar, copy it. I'm using Control-C as a shortcut to copy. Then I'm going to pop back over here into my Baamboozle window, click on the game URL spot, Control-V to paste, and then I import the game. Now it says it's been scheduled and it might take up to 15 minutes to appear on my games page. I haven't had that happen just yet, so I'm just going to hit refresh here, and you can see it's already there. So then if I want to use that, then all I have to do is click on it. Okay, maybe I should have waited just a hair longer. But that's okay. I can show you on the other one that I've imported. So what I'll do is I can hit play. I can set my number of teams, power up themes. Let me show you a theme one so that you can kind of understand what that looks like. We can do the great outdoors. How about that? And we'll do classical power-ups. All right, again, you can set your team names and things, but if you're wanting them to do vocabulary and you've got the great outdoors, you might say, oh, I want the rainbow, or oh, I want the farm or the barn, or whatever words you're working on there. That way you don't have just the numbers. You can always set it the other way too. So then you see your questions. In this one, it's a multiple choice as it came from Kahoot, so you see the answers that the students have to choose from. Then when they choose the correct answer, Newton's third law can be summarized as, I don't know, motion requires an unbalanced force. I don't believe that's the correct answer. We're going to find out here. Oh, I got it right. Okay, so, oh, that was incorrect. Sorry. So when you do that, the points are going down. There we go. We got it right finally and got 5 points. So this one was set up in such a way that you can get partial credit by eliminating answers. Which law states that an object exerts an equal and opposite force on each other? Let's see. Is that the second law? Nope. How about the first? Unfortunately, no. So there we go. Third law of motion. All right, so you see how this works, and that I need to brush up my knowledge on Newton's laws. But So this kind of gives you an idea of what these games can look like. And when we look at our game over here in Baamboozle, we can do a little refresh and see if our solar system one has loaded yet. No, still waiting, but that's okay. All right, so let me show you then how you can create another game. When I click here, this is one that I've been playing around with, all about Ohio, just using it as an example. You can add in different types of questions. So you see I've got what's the capital of Ohio, what's the name of Ohio State's Buckeyes mascot, and these are not multiple choice questions. The kids would just have to tell me the answer, and then I would say yes or no, you got it right. On this one, who's the governor of Ohio, this is set up as a multiple choice. You can also edit the number of points that the questions are worth. Over here. And you can have a question with an image, or you could have just the answer with the image, or neither. When I go in to my questions here, so I want to edit this. Now I can add a question. So maybe I can say, what is Ohio's state bird? All right, now I could choose to have a multiple choice or not. And we're going to say it's the cardinal. And it's my correct answer. And then I could have the ostrich, the dodo, and big bird. Okay, so now I can add in a GIF. Now, you got to be careful here because sometimes GIFs aren't what you want them to be. And so if you're doing this, you want to think thoughtfully about it. You can also upload pictures from the internet, save them on your computer, and then upload them, download them from the internet, save them to your computer, and upload them here as a file. So if you don't like the options that you have. There's also a link down here to help get images as well. All right, so let's take a look and see. You also could put in a link. So if I wanted a picture of Big Bird here, I go in here to images and I like that one. Sure. What I can do is I can copy the image address and then come back over here to my All About Ohio, and I can paste it there and add them in. Okay, so you've got lots of options there that you can use. When you go in with the GIFs, again, you never know what you're going to get sometimes, so just be careful. I was looking for one for my question about Ohio's governor, and I typed in DeWine, and I got some things that I didn't want. So, but that kind of gives you some ideas for what you can do within the game and allows you to pretty much come up with some pretty cool stuff for your students to enjoy and play and keep them engaged. So let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to answer them, and thank you for watching my session.